Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Genesis 46 to 50, Proverbs 23, and Psalm 26. Let's get started. So Israel started out with everything that belonged to him. When he reached Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. God spoke to Israel in a vision at night. Jacob, he said. Here I am, Jacob replied. I am God. I am the God of your father, he said. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt. Then I'll make you into a great nation. I will go down to Egypt with you. I'll surely bring you back again. And when you die, Joseph will close your eyes with his own hand. Then Jacob left Beersheba. Israel's sons put their father Jacob and their families in the carts that Pharaoh had sent to carry him. So Jacob and his whole family went to Egypt. And he took the livestock with him, and they took everything they had acquired and came. Jacob brought his sons and grandsons with him to Egypt. He also brought his daughters and granddaughters. He brought his whole family with him. He had the names of Israel's children, the grandchildren, and the grandchildren who went to Egypt. Jacob and his whole family are Reuben was Jacob's oldest son. The sons of Reuben were Hanok, Paldo, Hezron, and Carmi. The sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul. Shaul was the son of a woman from Canaan. The sons of Levi were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Judah were Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. But and Onan had died in the land of The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamel. The sons of Isaac were Tola, Pua, Jeshurun, and Shimron. The sons of Zebulun were Sered, Elon, and Jaleel. These were the sons and grandsons born to Jacob and Leah and Paddan. Leah also had a daughter by Jacob, and her name was Dinah. The total number of people in the family line of Jacob and Leah was 33. The sons of Gad were Zebulun, Hagi, Shuni, Esben, Eri, Arodi, and Arali. The sons of Asher were Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah. Their sister was Sarah. The sons of Beriah were Heber and Malchiel. These were the children and grandchildren born to Jacob and Zilpah. Laban had given Zilpah to his daughter Leah. The total number of people in the family line of Jacob and Zilpah was 16. The sons of Jacob's wife Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. In Egypt, Asenath had Manasseh and Ephraim by Joseph. Asenath was the daughter of Potiphar. Potiphar was the priest of God. The sons of Benjamin were Bela, Becca, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ahi, Rosh, Mopim, Hapim, and Ard. These are the sons and grandsons born to Jacob and Rachel. The total number of people in the family line of Jacob and Rachel was 14. The son of Dan was Husham. The sons of Naphtali were Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shon. They were the sons and grandsons born to Jacob and Bilhah. Laban had given Bilhah to his daughter Rachel. The total number of people in the family line of Jacob and Bilhah was 7. The total number of people who went to Egypt with Jacob was 66. And the number includes only his children and grandchildren. It doesn't include his sons' wives or his grandsons' wives. The total number of members of Jacob's family who went to Egypt was 7. That includes 2 sons who had been born to Joseph in Egypt. Jacob sent Judah ahead of him to Joseph. He sent him to get directions to Goshen, and so they arrived in the area of Goshen. And then Joseph had his servants get his chariot ready. He went to Goshen to meet his father Israel. As soon as he came to his father, Joseph threw his arms around him. Then Joseph wept for a long time. Israel said to Joseph, I have seen for myself that you are still alive. Now I'm ready to die. And then Joseph spoke to his brothers, and then to the rest of his father's family. He said, I'll go up and speak to Pharaoh. I'll say to my brothers and the rest of my father's family have come to me. They were living in the land of Canaan. The men are shepherds. They take care of livestock. They rule over their flocks and herds and everything there. Pharaoh will send for you. He'll ask, "What do you do for a living?" You should answer, "We have taken care of livestock from the time we were boys. We've done just as our fathers did. It's the practice of the people of Egypt not to mix with shepherds. So Pharaoh will let you settle in the area of Goshen." Joseph went to Pharaoh. He told him, "My father and brothers have come from the land of Canaan. They rode along their flocks and herds and everything there. They are now in Goshen." Joseph had chosen 5 of his brothers to meet with Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked his brothers, "What do you do for a living?" "We're shepherds," they replied to Pharaoh. "And that's what our fathers were." They also said to him, "We've come to live in Egypt for a while. There isn't enough food anywhere in Canaan. There isn't any grass for our flocks. So please let us live in Goshen." Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Egypt is open to you. Let your father and brothers live in the best part of the land. Let them live in Goshen. Do any of them have special skills? If they do, put them in charge of my own livestock." Then Joseph brought his father Jacob in to meet Pharaoh. Jacob gave Pharaoh his blessing. And then Pharaoh asked him, "How old are you?" Jacob said to Pharaoh, "My years of my journey through life are 130. My years have been few and hard. They aren't as many as the years of my father and grandfather before me." Jacob gave Pharaoh his blessing. Then he left him. So Joseph helped his father and his brothers make their homes in Egypt. He gave them property in the best part of the land, just as Pharaoh had directed them to do. That part was in the territory of Ramesses. Joseph also provided food for his father and brothers. He provided for them and for the rest of his father's family. He gave them enough for all their children. But there wasn't any food in the whole area. In fact, there wasn't enough food anywhere. The people of Egypt and Canaan lost their strength because there wasn't enough food to go around. Joseph collected all the money in Egypt and Canaan. He prepared a tour for the grain they were buying, and Joseph brought it to the Pharaoh's palace. Then the money of the people of Egypt and Canaan was gone. All the Egyptians came to Joseph. They said, "Give us food. What good would it do you to watch us all die? Our money is all gone." "Then bring your livestock," he said to Joseph. "You say your money is gone, so I'll trade you food for your livestock." They brought their livestock to Joseph. He traded them food for their animals. They gave him their horses, sheep, goats, cattle, and donkeys. He helped the people that lived through that year by trading them food for their animals. They gave him their horses, sheep, goats, camels, and cattle and donkeys. He helped the people by trading helped the people live through that year by trading them food for their livestock. When that year was over, they came to him the next year. They said, "We can't hide the truth from you. Our money is gone. Our livestock belongs to you. We don't have anything left to give you, so our bodies are our land. What good would it do to watch us to die? And what should our land be? Why should our land be destroyed? Trade us food for ourselves and our land. Then we and our land will belong to Pharaoh. Give us some seeds so we can live and not die. We don't want the land to become a desert." So Joseph bought all the land in Egypt for Pharaoh. All the people in Egypt sold their fields. They did that because there wasn't enough food anywhere. So the land became Pharaoh's. Joseph made the people slaves from one end of Egypt to the other. Joseph didn't buy the land that belonged to the priests. They received a regular share of food from Pharaoh. They had enough food from what Pharaoh gave them. That's why they didn't have to sell their land. Joseph said to the people, I've brought you and your land today for Pharaoh. So here are the seed for each plant in the ground. But when the crop comes in, give a fifth of it to Pharaoh. Keep the other 4/5 for yourselves. There will be seeds for the fields, and there will be food for yourselves, your children, and the other people who live with you. You have saved our lives, they said. If you are pleased with us, we will be Pharaoh's slaves. So Joseph made a law about land in Egypt. It's still the law today. A fifth of the produce belonged to Pharaoh. Only the land belonging to the priest, but it didn't become Pharaoh's. The people of Israel lived in Egypt in the area of Goshen. They received property there. They children and so became many. Jacob lived 17 years in Egypt. He lived a total of 147 years. The time came near for Israel to die. So he sent for his son Joseph. He said to him, If you are pleased with me, put your hand under my thigh. Promise me that you will be kind and faithful to me. Don't bury me in Egypt. And I join the members of my family who have already died. Carry me out of Egypt. Bury me where they are buried. I'll do exactly as you say, Joseph said. Give me your word that you'll give it, that you'll do it. Jacob said. So Joseph gave him his word. And Israel worshipped God as he leaned on the top of his walking stick. Sometime later, Joseph was told, Your father is sick. So he took his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, along with him. Jacob was told, Your son Joseph has come to you. So Israel became stronger and sat up in bed. Jacob said to Joseph, The mighty God appeared to me at last in the land of Canaan. He blessed me there. He said to me, I am going to give you children. I'll make your family very large. I'll make you a community of nations, and I'll give this land to your children after you. You will belong to them forever. Now then, 2 sons were born to you in each. It happened before I came to you here. They will be counted as my own sons. Ephraim and Manasseh will belong to me, in the same way that Reuben and Simeon belong to me. Any children born to you after them will belong to you. Any territory they receive will be Ephraim. Will come from the land they will be given to Ephraim and Manasseh. As I was returning from Paddan, Rachel died. It made me very sad. She died in the land of Canaan while we were still on the way. We weren't very far away from Ephrath. So I buried her body there beside the road to Ephrath. Ephrath was also called Bethlehem. Esau saw Joseph's sons. He asked, Who are they? They are the sons God has given me here, Joseph said to his father. Then Esau said, Bring them here to me. I want to give them my blessing. Esau's eyes were weak because he was old. He couldn't see very well. So Joseph brought his sons to him. His father kissed them and hugged them. Esau said to Joseph, I never thought I'd see your face again, and now God has let me see your children too. Then Joseph lifted his sons of Israel's knees. Joseph bowed down with his face to the ground. He placed Ephraim's on his right, toward Israel's left hand. He placed Manasseh on his left, toward Israel's right hand. Then he brought them close to Israel. Then Israel reached out his right hand and put it on Ephraim's head. He did this even though Ephraim was the youngest son. He crossed his arms and put his left hand on Manasseh's head. He did it even though Manasseh was the oldest son. Then Israel gave Joseph his blessing. May God bless these boys. He is the God of my grandfather. My grandfather Abraham and my father Isaac. They walk faithfully with him. He is the God who has been my shepherd all my life up right up to this day. He is the angel who has saved me from all harm. May he bless these boys. May they be called by my name. May they also be called by the names of my grandfather Abraham and my father Isaac. And may the number of them greatly increase on the earth. Joseph saw his father putting his right hand on Ephraim's head, and Joseph didn't like it. So he took hold of his father's hand to move it over to Manasseh's head. Joseph said to him, No, my father, here's my oldest son. Put your right hand on his head. But his father wouldn't do it. He said, I know, my son, I know. He too will become a nation. He too will become great. But his younger brother will be greater than he is. His children after him will become a group of nations. On that day, Jacob gave them his blessing. He said, The people of Israel will bless others in your name. They'll say, May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. So he put Ephraim ahead of Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, I'm about to die, then God will be with all of you. He will take you back to the land of your fathers. But to you, Joseph, I am giving the land to your brothers. I'm giving you the land I took from the Amorites. I took it with my sword and bow. Then Jacob sent for his son. He said, gather around me so I can tell you what will happen to you in days to come. The sons of Jacob, come together and listen to your father Israel. Reuben, you are my oldest son. You are my first child. You are the first sign of my strength. You are first in honor. You are first in power. But you are unsteady as water, so you won't be the first anymore. You had sex with my concubine on my bed. You lay on my couch and made her unclean. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Their swords have killed a lot of people. I won't share in their plans. I won't have anything to do with them. They became angry and killed people. They cut the legs of oxen just for the fun of it. May the Lord put a curse on them because of their terrible anger. I will scatter them in Jacob's land. I will spread them around in Israel. Judah, your brothers will praise you. Your enemies will be brought under your control. Your father's sons will bow down to you. Judah, you are like a lion's cub. You return from hunting, my son. You, like a lion, you lie down and sleep. You are like a mother lion. Who dares to wake you up? The right rule will not leave with Judah. The ruler's scepter will not be taken from between his feet. It will be his until the king it belongs to will come. The nations will obey that king will obey that king. He will tie his donkey to a vine. He will tie his colt to the very best branch. He will wash his clothes in wine. He will wash his robes in the red juice of grapes. His eyes will be darker than wine. His teeth will be whiter than milk. Zebulun will live by the seashore. He will become a safe harbor for ships. His border will go out towards sea. Isaac was like a wild donkey lying down among the sheepmen. He sees how good his resting place is. He sees that his land is pleasant. So he will carry a heavy load on his back. He will obey when he's forced away. Dan will do what's fair to his people. For his people. He will do as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan will be a snake by the side of the road. He will be a poisonous snake along by the path. It bites the horse's heels so that the rider falls off backwards. Lord, I look to you to save me. Gad will be attacked by a group of robbers, but he will attack them as they run away. Asher's food will be rich and sweet. He will provide food that even a king would enjoy. Naphtali is the female deer set free, and gives birth to beautiful fawns. Joseph is a vine that grows a lot of fruit. It grows close by a spring. Its branches climb over a wall. Mean people shot arrows at him. They shot at him because they were angry, but his bow remained steady. His strong arms moved freely. The hand of the mighty God of Jacob was with him. The shepherd, the rock of Israel, stood by him. Joseph, your father God helps you. The mighty God blesses you. He gives you the blessings from the sky above. He gives you blessings from the deep springs of blood. He blesses you with children and with a mother's milk. Your father's blessings are great. They are greater than the blessings from the age-old mountains. They are greater than the gifts from the ancient hills. Let all those blessings rest on the head of Joseph. Let them rest on the head of the one who is prince among his brothers. Benjamin is a hungry one. In the morning he eats what he has killed. In the evening he shares what he has stolen. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's what their father said to them when he blessed them. He gave each one the blessing that was just right for them. Then Jacob gave directions to his sons. He said, I'm about to join the members of my family who have already died. Bury me with them in the cave of the field of Ephron the Hittite. The cave is in the field of Machpelah, near Mamre and Canaan. Abraham had bought it as a place where he could bury his wife's body. He had brought the cave and the field from Ephron the Hittite. Ephron the Hittite. The bodies of Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried there. So were the bodies of Isaac and his wife Rebekah. I also buried Leah's body there. Abraham bought the field and the cave from the Hittites. When Jacob had finished telling his sons what to do, he pulled his feet up into his bed. Then he took his last breath and died. He joined the members of his family who had already died. Joseph threw himself over his father's body. He wept over and kissed him. Then Joseph talked to the doctors who served him. He told them to prepare the body of his father Israel to be buried. So the doctors prepared it. They took 40 days to do it. They needed that much time to prepare her body in the right way. The Egyptians mourned for Jacob 70 days. After the days of sadness had passed, Joseph went to Pharaoh's officials. He said to them, "If you are pleased with me, speak to Pharaoh for me. Tell him, my father made me give my word to him. And he said, I'm about to die. Bury me in the tomb I dug for myself in the land of Canaan. Then let me go there and bury my father. Then I'll come back." Pharaoh said, "Go then, bury your father. Do what he made you promise to do." So Joseph went to Canaan to bury his father. All Pharaoh's officials went with him. They were the important people of his court and all the leaders of Egypt. Joseph's family also went. His brothers and all the rest of his father's family went. Only their children and their flocks and herds were left in Goshen. Chariots and horsemen also went up with him. It was a very large group. They came to Atad, the place where the grain was processed. It was near the Jordan River. There they sobbed loudly and bitterly. Joseph set apart 7 days of sadness to honor his father's memory. The Canaanites living in that area saw how sad all of them were. They said, "The Egyptians are having a very special service for the dead." That's why that place near the Jordan River is called Abel of the Egyptians. So Jacob's sons did exactly as he had commanded them. They carried his body to the land of Canaan. They buried it in the cave of the field of Machpelah near Mamre. Abraham had bought the cave as a place where he could bury his wife's body. He had brought the cave and the field from Ephron the Hittite. After Joseph buried his father, he went back to Egypt. His brothers and all the others who had gone to help him bury his father went back with him. Now that their father was dead, Joseph's brothers were worried. They said, "Remember all the bad things we did to Joseph? What if he decides to hold those things against us? What if he pays us back for them?" So they sent a message to Joseph. They said, "Your father gave us directions before he died. He said, 'Here's what you must say to Joseph. Tell him, I'm asking you to forgive your brothers. Forgive the terrible things they did to you. Forgive us for treating you so badly. Now then, please forgive our sins. We serve the God of your father." When their message came to Joseph, he wept. Then his brothers came and threw themselves down in front of him. "We are your slaves," they said. So Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid. Do you think I'm God? You plan to harm me. But God planned it for good. He planned to do what is now being done. He wanted to save many lives. So then, don't be afraid. I'll provide for you and your children." He calmed their fears, and he spoke in a kind way to them. Joseph stayed in Egypt, along with all his father's family. He lived 110 years. He lived long enough to see Ephraim's children and grandchildren. When the children of Machir were born, they were placed on Joseph's knees and counted as his own children. Machir was the son of Manasseh. Joseph said to his brothers, "I'm about to die, but God will surely come to help you. He'll take you up out of this land. He'll bring you to the land he promised to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Joseph made the Israelites promises. He said, "God will surely come to help you. Then you must carry my bones up from this place." So Joseph died at the age of 110. Then they prepared his body to be buried. Then he was placed in a casket in Egypt. Proverbs 23. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, look carefully at what's in front of you. Put a knife to your throat if you like to eat too much. Don't look for his fancy food. It can fool you. Don't wear yourself out to get rich. Don't trust how wise you think you are. When you take even a quick look at riches, they're gone. They grow wings and fly away into the sky like an eagle. Don't eat the food of anyone who doesn't want to share. Don't look for his fancy food. He is the kind of person who is always thinking about how much it costs. Eat and drink, he says to you, but he doesn't mean. He will throw up a little you have eaten. He will have wasted your words of praise. Don't speak to foolish people. They'll laugh at your wise words. Don't move our boundary stones. Don't try to take over the fields the children his fathers have done. That's because the God who guides them is strong. He will stand up for them in court against you. Apply hard to what you are taught. Listen carefully to words of knowledge. Don't hold back correction from a child. If you correct them, they will die. So correct them. Then you will save them from death. My son, if your heart is wise, my heart will be very glad. Deep down inside, I will be happy when you say what's right. Do not long for what sins have, but always show great respect for the Lord. There really is hope for you in days to come. So your hope will not be cut off. My son, listen and be wise. Set your heart on the right path. Don't join those who drink too much wine. Don't join those who stuff themselves with me. Those who drink or eat too much will become poor. If they sleep too much, they'll have to wear rags. Listen to your father who gave you life. Don't hate your mother when she was old. Buy the truth and don't sell. Your wisdom, instruction, and understanding as well. The father of a godly child is very happy. The man who raises a wise son is glad. May your father and mother be joyful. May your father and mother be glad. May the woman who gave birth to you be joyful. My son, give me your heart. May you be happy living the way you see me live. An unfaithful wife is like a deep pit. A wife who commits adultery is like a narrow well. She hides and waits like a thief. She causes many men to sin. Who has trouble? Who has sorrow? Who argues? Who has problems? Who has rings for no reason? Who has red eyes? Those who spend too much time with wine, or those who like to taste wine mixed with spices. Don't look at wine when it is bright. Don't look at it when it bubbles in the cup. And don't look at it when it goes down smoothly. In the end, it bites like a snake. It bites like a poisonous serpent. Your eyes will see strange sights. Your mind will imagine weird things. You'll feel like someone sleeping on the ocean. You'll think you are lying among the ropes in a boat. They hit me, you'll say, but I'm not hurt. They eat me, but I don't feel it. When will I wake up so I can find another drink? Psalm 26. Lord, when you hand out your sins, let it be in my favor. I have lived without blame. I have trusted in the Lord. I have never doubted him. Lord, test me. Try me out. Look deeply into my heart and mind. I have always remembered your love that never fails. I have always depended on the fact that you are faithful. I don't spend time with people who tell lies. I don't keep company with pretenders. I hate to be with a group of sinful people. I refuse to spend time with those who are evil. I wash my hands to show that I'm not guilty. Lord, I come near your altar. I shout my praise to you. I tell about all the wonderful things you have done. Lord, I love the house where you live. I love the place where you are glorious. Don't destroy me together with sinners. Don't take away my life along with murderers. Their hands are kind, always planning to do evil. Their right hands are full of money. Their house brought their help. But I live without blame. Save me from harm and treat me with kindness. My feet stand on level ground. In the whole community, I'll praise the Lord. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as you also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.